We are live right now.
Live. Awesome. Well, good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
All right. We're starting.
we hear you. I think we still got our background music playing, but I like the vibes. We
I
should.
like it. I feel like I'm in like a rainforest cafe or something, or like should be sipping like mushroom coffee or something. But um, awesome.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad we finally got this going. But good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever everyone's coming from. We got some really exciting stuff today with Key kicking off its very first inaugural hackathon. Really exciting stuff, but I don't want to get into the details. But there's tons of prizes up for grabs. If you're in the Dora community listening to this, get super jazzed about this. I know there's been a lot of cool opportunities on the platform so far, but like this one is really neat, especially if you believe in LATAM. Look up KiiChain, get engaged, Dorahacks.io. With that being said, like we'd love to hear about the opportunity. KiiChain, we have a lot of you here today. If you guys want to get into it, however you guys want to do this.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Trevor. I mean, when we met, I think over 6 months ago, we started talking, and I think you immediately picked up the vision and just the opportunity here in emerging markets in Latin America, everything that we're building today. So really appreciate the space and the time and the effort that the entire Dora team has given us in this initial collaboration and first hackathon, and we definitely have tons of participants locally really interested. So really excited to get it going and just speak about just who we are and what we're building. So if there's anything else, Sebastian, Ezra, Andres, if you want to add anything, feel free to introduce yourselves before we kind of dive into our presentation, talk a little bit about the overall hackathon, some important dates, the structure, prizes, important things to consider about judging, dive a little bit into just the general architecture of KiiChain, right? Our native apps, what we run, and then we'll go into some more resources, break down our docs page. But yeah, feel free, Seb, Ezra, Andres, take it away. Quick intro, and we'll get started.
Sure. Thank you, Alex. From marketing, after the launch of our testnet 2, this is the most important moment for us right now. It's a key moment. We were waiting for the hackathon, so actually we're very excited here, and with all the complete team, with all disposition for receiving and giving you guys support, like helping you guys with all the details and questions that you have during the hackathon. We got Discord, Twitter, Telegram, every single Web2 and Web3 channel ready for you guys. So basically from here, 24/7, here in Kicking It with KiiChain, and of course, thanks to Dorahacks for making this possible together. So anything you need, make sure that there's a whole team here.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Seb. Yeah, my name is Ezra. I've been serving as a product lead here at Key. And yeah, we're really just enthusiastic to be kicking off this hackathon and these workshops. These workshops are intended to be clear and concise, give you guys the information that you need to succeed in this hackathon as a whole. We plan on, like Seb said, being as big of a support as we can to you guys. We're really fond of the Cosmos architecture as a whole and the ecosystem that's a part of it. So, we really chose to go with Cosmos, not only for the technology that lies within its SDK, but also because of the community that surrounds it. And so, here we are at this pinnacle point, kicking this off. We have testnet 2 live. We have 30,000 plus users in our Discord. Lots of exciting stuff. We'll go a little bit more in detail about the exact tracks that we're running and the future workshops and coming up very shortly. And I guess Andres, if Andres wanted to make any comment, or Alex, if you wanted me to expand on any of the workshops right now, or if we're going to be doing that later on in this.
That's perfect. We'll be covering it shortly here. But Andres, introduce yourself and we'll get started.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Andres, and I'm in charge of everything related to development process. And as my coworker said, I'm glad to receive I'm excited to receive what are the ideas that the people going to build using KiiChain. I'm going to be a judge. I'm going to judge every project, every idea. I'm going to look the code, whatever the people build. That is completely exciting. And also, I want to invite you the space that we are going to have for everybody who's going want to participate or have different dApps in our dev to dev is a chart, is a communication process to resolve question, to give ideas or whatever the people have. I glad to invite, or I want to invite you for whoever who wants to enter. It's a good idea.
Thank you, Andres. Perfect. Well, let's get going. I'll share my screen here, and tons of resources to pull up. But first, let's see, wait till it loads on the main screen. Sebastian, can you see the screen? Is it coming up now?
Not right now. Can you share it one more time?
Yeah, it should be coming up. There we go.
There you go.
Awesome. Great. So before we dive into the hackathon itself and kind of start breaking down a little bit more detail, I think it's important that we share why we're building what we're building, right? And that's because all of us collectively here have been building in emerging markets, particularly LATAM. That's home base for us is Bogota, Colombia, for the past 10 years or really over. And from traditional Web 2 businesses now into Web 3, we've seen the struggle of financial infrastructure and just general infrastructure of how businesses and users communicate across really all sectors. And what brought us here today was just the accumulation of all of these years working in various sectors and realizing that there's a huge struggle in emerging markets in Latin America that really hinder a lot of users and businesses from growth. And so what we're really dedicated to more than anything else is building the future of finance for emerging markets, right? And that has a huge focus on real world asset tokenization as a very popular use case, right? I mean, it really started in, early on when, our really origination of our experience comes from OTC trading and managing an OTC desk as early as 2018 and 2019 in the space. And it's evolved into all of these, Web3 native companies, but also bringing in now finally Web 2, legitimate Web 2 companies with large market share, large revenue, large traction into this ecosystem because real estate projects want to be tokenized, right? Tons of commodity producers are tokenizing, e-commerce companies who are engaging internationally. And really the current financial structure has failed the majority of these businesses and have made it very expensive for them to operate. So we're here to give a lot more power back to the people in Latin America, which is really the best use case purpose of this technology, and really to serve a lot of users, businesses locally and connect them with companies abroad and expand on this, capital kind of availability scenario that we have among emerging and developed markets. So, we'll explain more on this later, but let's get started with some really important dates. Officially as of yesterday, the hackathon has begun and we're running it for the next 6 weeks here. But I'll pass the word over to Sebastian if you want to run through some of these important dates, and I can help you in that process as well.
Definitely, Alex. So basically, we're having 1.5 months for all this submission and all this hackathon happening. On August the 30th, we're gonna finish officially. So basically, from yesterday and today and tomorrow and the rest of the days, you're gonna be able to participate here. We got a very interesting list of judges. You can see it in all the details of the hackathon in Dorahacks. And after the deadline of the hackathon, we're gonna have 5 days with all the judges do a very heavy and a very detailed exam of every single project that you guys build during this hackathon. And the most important date. Of course, the winner's announcement is going to be September the 6th. During that process, we're going to have workshops every single time at the same time zone. We're gonna have our workshops at 2 p.m. East, which is 1 p.m. for us who are here in Latin America. And today we're having the open ceremony, but we're going to talk about how to deploy a smart contract or dApp on KiiChain, how to use Python and JavaScript SDKs. We're going to talk about tokenization and RWA assets on-chain, developing pivotal infrastructure, smart contract deployer, DeFi apps, lend and borrow. And hey, this is like the workshops that we established from the beginning, but we're going to add some additionals workshops, and also these workshops are going to be recorded in Spanish, so that's good for everyone. And we always like from KiiChain do everything like very inclusive, so we wanted to do it in English and Spanish at the same time. And every single day, my friend Andres Ramirez and also Alex, well, and our members of the team are going to be from 10 a.m. to 12 at noon East in our Discord in the building support category. We're going to give building support to every single person who is going to be building here in the hackathon. So any doubt that you have, question, if you need guidance about your project, how to build, where, how, feel free to share your questions and every single topic in the Discord. Hey Juan, hey from Miami, good. We're having people from Chile. I was reading the members of the chat here. So yeah, guys, this is basically the most important dates. If there's any surprise or any update of the hackathon, make sure I was sharing the details of our channels right here, but we're on Twitter, Telegram, Discord, or probably Instagram. We're always sharing all the updates of the hackathon. If something's happening, but feel free. Actually, I was checking the data, Trevor, yesterday, and we were already with, I think it was like 20 people registered here, and we're waiting for more. So with this clear, let's start officially with this hackathon. And that's it, Alex.
Yeah, and you mentioned some important things too, like while we have a particular emphasis on the 10 a.m. to noon EST time slot, we're very active 24/7 in all of our channels. So like if those times don't work for you, you're in different time zones, let us know. I'm also personally really active during this time on every Wednesday. So if you want to chat with myself, right, chat with Sebastian, Daniel, right, we're also very active and can lend a hand. And you know, if we're not there, or if you're speaking with, you know, Juan, who's one of our Discord, you know, community members, you know, if you have any questions or want to speak to a particular member on the team, just make that note or create a ticket in our Discord, and we'll make sure that happens. Additionally, like you'll be hearing from Matt, you'll be hearing from Sequoia, you'll be hearing from Julian, Nairo, different devs within our ecosystem at different workshops, and just stay really close attention or stay tuned with like a lot of our communications via Discord or via, you know, X or even in Discord. If there's any, you know, date changes or not so date changes, but more if we're adding different workshops or different live spaces, right? We can add more, you know, resources that we move along. But this is just the general timeline, and a lot of now more moving into like the build side and what we're really, you know, developing. And I'll kind of let Ezra speak on this because him with Matt and other members really kind of designed it. But this being like the first big kind of more global and focused hackathon that we're doing, really focusing on some of the core infrastructure and pieces of our ecosystem as we move forward. And what's really exciting is we have like, you know, pages and pages of ideas of what we can do, but really focusing on kind of the core piece as we gear up our second version of testnet. And, you know, as we approach mainnet, this is, you know, I think probably the biggest opportunity that we have for people in our ecosystem to join prior to launch and mainnet. But of course, you know, tons of ideas of stuff we'll do in the future. But Ezra, feel free to kind of walk us through, right, what we're kind of, you know, what a lot of our focus is and ideas, and then we can all, you know, tune in on, you know, judging criteria and who's involved.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alex, for that intro and for that additional expansion. You know, as Alex mentioned, we put together these 3 tracks here And we actually had a fourth track, which was SDKs, but we decided to try and get as much of that accomplished internally to provide that to you guys so you guys could leverage those SDKs for building this, And so I know we have several SDKs already live, and we're working on getting the TypeScript, JavaScript one out ASAP. Hopefully in the next week or so, we should have that live for you guys. And so, but for these three tracks that remain here is split into three different groups. Number one being the infrastructure tooling, next being the dApps or DeFi apps, right? And then the last being something cool. We wanted to kind of leave it open to interpretation or someone else's idea. Our ideas can be limited, so we had to leave that something cool open. And to kind of run through the infrastructure tooling, just to specify on really kind of what we're looking at and what we're thinking of, starting with the validator dashboard, which is separate from the validator deployer, could be somewhat conjoined, but I'm pretty sure, most people watching this or listening in are somewhat familiar with the dashboard, the validator dashboard, and what it would do. But ultimately, the purpose of it is for management of a validator, for monitoring, for looking at the stats of different validators. And so this would predominantly be for someone who has their own validator sets. We are leading towards the Cosmos chain becoming a consumer chain, which means we're leveraging Atom validators, but we are going to have validators open as well. So we're going to be doing both, and so this is would play into our the key validators themselves, not the Atom validators. Just to clarify, if you're reading anything or see us publish anything about our interchain security module that we are rolling out, this is not for that. This is for our internal key community validators themselves. And so next, down to the smart contracts deployer. Right now, we have our Polaris module activated. We are looking into SAY, but that's for potentially down the road. Right now, our Polaris is strong. It's been battle tested. We're confident with our SAY module, or with our Polaris module. And keeping that in mind, we want a very easy smart contract deployer. We know it's straightforward. We know that they're out there. Some projects can be forked for this. There's lots of potential here. And so, a user-friendly interface supporting multiple languages potentially, but, right now we're just Solidity focused. We have not activated Rust contracts. So this smart contract deployer is purely for Solidity. And, it should be a fairly straightforward tool or dashboard for deploying smart contracts on Key, leveraging the Polaris module. Okay, then we have, of course, as Alex has mentioned, our RWA infrastructure. This is for, collateralizing real world assets. There's lots that can go into this in terms of course, the actual tokenization of the actual asset, down to compliance, down to integration with external data sources, which is a huge one for RWA, right? How is it connecting with the real world aspects? Is there some sort of oracle in place? What oracle will you be using? Are you making your own oracle? There's thought that needs to go behind this. And so that's down to the RWA infrastructure as a whole. We're very open and excited to the possibilities of this. I can foresee a lot of discussion going back and forth, even with Alex, with the team, about your ideas, about your thoughts. There's going to be some collaborative efforts needing to happen for that, I would say, in order to get it right, in order to win that, I would suggest more collaboration, the better. Then down to the validator deployer, as I mentioned, it's a little different from number one. This would be fairly straightforward. This is, if you don't know what I'm talking about here, you're probably in the wrong chat. But it's a validator, deployer, very straightforward. We want it to be as simple and easy as possible. I know that Cosmos and their internal teams are working on some really cool validator deployers, which are really easy, nice and simple UI. And so, but we want one for Key right now. And so, we're excited to see what people come up with there and put into action, right? And so it's just like the automated deployment, scalability options, security features can be embedded within it, so on and so forth. Here we have cross-chain asset management and trading strategies. This is a can of worms, obviously. What chain are we doing? We actually just brought on a really awesome new full stack Cosmos dev who worked at Layer 0 for a while. So we're personally looking into a lot of different avenues about just cross-chain asset management as a whole. I think this is another thing that we're going to be wanting to see some collaborative effort on, asking us, talking to us, seeing where our head's at, and even spitting your ideas out to us. We're really open. We're excited about the different possibilities of cross-chain asset management and even different trading strategies, collaborative with other chains, and how that they can bridge over. I won't go too deep into that one. And then the block explorers. We think our block explorer is really awesome. I don't know if we have. I don't think we've updated our new UI, but we've got.
We have Ezra. We'll be showing that soon. Yeah.
Nice. And so but there's always possibilities for cooler stuff, and obviously it's C. We've labeled them A, B, and C based on how the level of importance and the level of rewards that would be accompanied to that item itself. And so it is on the bottom of the barrel, but it's it's a very straightforward one. It's fairly easy, simple one, and so it directly correlates with the rewards. And so, but you can
exactly. And Ezra, just to chime in too, like before we move on to the DeFi stuff, like these are just general ideas, right? Like builds can be, on these ideas, they can be something different, right? Whether they're submitting under like the build something cool section or directly under this kind of framework, they can be externally managed. It doesn't have to be something like natively within our system, or they can be tech that we incorporate into our native apps, right? Like this is just general recommendations and ideas rather than like direct demands. And again, it comes down to just communication and really keeping things open.
These are the demands. That's good. Thank you for expanding on that, Alex. And what's up, Mel B? We're excited too. Thanks for chiming in. All right, we'll move on to the DeFi aspect. Of course, at DEX, we've got osmosis. As even expanding on what Alex just mentioned, there is definitely some cool possibilities that can go down these rabbit holes. Maybe even leveraging our DEX with some sort of cross-chain asset management. There can be cool stuff that takes place here within the DeFi aspect, in the DeFi realm. Disruptive DeFi apps, that's pretty subjective. That's pretty, that's pretty up in arms. And so, it's really, really open to something cool. We know some of you degens out there come up with quite interesting DeFi strategies, and that's really where that is. We're looking for something new there, something ingenuitive and something unique. Dashboards, of course, because of our Polaris module and our EVM format, really opens the possibility here. For the dashboards, of pre-built stuff out there. There's a lot of stuff out there that is EVM compatible that could be, reformatted to serve Kii and to serve Kii in the community through different DeFi protocols and different smart contracts, so on and so forth. So the dashboards itself, there's lots of stuff that exists out there and that can be repurposed for Kii that could be of use for us. Lending and borrowing, that's huge. Some of our judges are huge in this area as a whole. So definitely interested to see what people come up with there, if anything. Autumn compounding for staking. This is pretty straightforward. Most people should be familiar with this. And then DEX aggregation, last but not least, also very straightforward. If you don't know what it is here, I suggest focusing on something that you do know, because the DeFi, you'll be competing against some strong DeFi people, and then build something cool, up to 500,000 Kii tokens, 5,000 USD. Build what you think we're missing and whatever you imagine is best, right? So that's really, we know that there's really smart people out there, and that you guys can come up with some awesome ideas. So, really, really just genuinely excited to see what people come up with. And also don't hesitate to ask us before you start building. You can ping us, ping Alex, see what he thinks about your idea, if it's cool or not. And he's going to tell you, I wouldn't take that. If he thinks it's cool, don't take that as oh my gosh, if I build this, I'm going to win. That's still always subjective and depends on what you end up building at the end. But don't hesitate to ask us before you start building. And we might tell you, that's cool, but we don't really see that being a potential winner. We'll tell you. We'll be straightforward with you and we'll be honest. So don't hesitate to open that communication channel. And like Alex said, these are our direction for you guys, but it's not a set out, demand. So go in these general directions, stay fun, stay creative, stay unique, but also don't reinvent the wheel. And some things that don't need to be reinvented. There's tools out there that will seriously benefit Key, simply reformatting it and polishing it up. So excited to see those as well.
Yeah, and we definitely have a space open for just projects that want to build on the chain, whether pre-existing or want to move into LATAM and have some potential ideas on the build something cool section. Like that's totally an area of collaboration as well. Really looking for the core founding kind of dev community here to participate and contribute in ways that we're not taking into consideration also. But we can. Ezra, thanks a lot. Let's talk a little bit, I guess, about just the general judging, right? 11 confirmed judges. Might be scaling up very shortly to 13. But yeah, just, maybe run us through some, the ideas of the judging criteria, what we're taking into consideration, right?
And even spinning kind of on that last comment I made, the number one being originality and creativity. It doesn't necessarily need to be some novel concept to be original or, creative. It can be a creative way of repurposing something that already exists, or a creative way of applying a dashboard or a validator deployer or smart contract deployer into our existing ecosystem. So I just want to emphasize, it does not need to be novel and brand new. That would be pretty crazy if someone was to come up with something absolutely original and unique. That'd be awesome, but it's not necessarily what we're just looking for in our winners. And so just to emphasize that originality and creativity can be branched off of something that is already proven to be successful and proven to be extremely useful within ecosystems. Number one. Number two, the impact on the ecosystem directly segues from my last comment there. A big aspect of it is going to be, is the community going to use it? Is the community going to benefit from this what you're building? And you can build something that's cool, but if it just collects dust and doesn't get used, it's probably not going to win. You know what I mean? We want something that's going to have an actual impact. People are going to use. It's applicable, and it's of course secure, robust, efficient. It's not taking forever. The whatever smart contracts are in it, or just on-chain analysis. It's not super laggy. It's efficient. It's working, and it can even be, if you build something that's really, really big and robust, and there just wasn't enough time to fully optimize it. That's okay. We'll take that into consideration, and we'll help to optimize it at the end, ultimately, if we end up using it. So, I wouldn't say that the efficiency is detrimental to winning. I would say that it's a give and take on where your project's at and how robust it is. And if you were just really working on the features of it instead of the efficiency, and the efficiency is something that wouldn't be too challenging to improve over time, that can be improved over time, and we can do that in-house as well after, or work with you post deadline to then revamp the efficiency of your DApp. And then I think these last, I would say 5, it's true. This is getting down to the scalability is more important than interoperability for sure. If I had to put a articulation on which is more important out of those two, it always is cool though. The interoperability is always cool, and I would say that is a little confusing. Is it Cosmos interoperable or is it multi-chain interoperable? That's a question I'll leave to ponder all of us. And then number 6, simplicity and usability kind of also segues into number 2. It's got to be usable. People got to be able to use it. Simple as that. So I hope I was able to expand on that in a way that you thought was good, Alex.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And then just, the last note at the end, right? Like bonus points for, right, location, team communication, project commitment. right? Is this something that's just being built and passed on, or is this, you know, a team that really wants to operate that repo and move forward, or
Yeah.
you know, launch business, look and work with us, try to get, you know, funding, whatever it may be, to be like a greater part of the ecosystem. You know, that all of that will be taken into consideration from, you know, the judging panel, from the non-technical to the judging panel, right?
Yeah.
So like during that judging, a lot of the devs will, you know, go through all of the code, you know, present to the more wider team, you know, what they've found as far as quality of code, and you know, kind of refining from a technical aspect the judging criteria, and then it'll go up. And I believe, Trevor, we spoke about too, if I can call on you for 1 minute, right, about the kind of decentralized voting system from all of our judges, right, voting on, you know, each of the prizes and ranking them. So we will be, you know, working with Dora, just kind of implementing that, keeping this as transparent and as fair as, you know, we can make it.
Yeah, absolutely. What Alex is talking about is an anti-collusion voting system that we've developed, that Vitalik has been front running and talking about for a really long time. We've built and developed it for our hackathon judges, and also some of our partners out there to leverage, so that we can have the fairest kinds of voting, especially for things like this, where it should be done on chain. In a transparent and also anti-collusionary, that's a word, anti-collusion manner.
That's a good one.
Yeah, well,
yeah. Should be a word if it isn't one.
Anti-collusion. We're innovating even now. But yeah, I talked to you about doing it. We'll absolutely have it set up for you, and all on chain.
Cool. Awesome. Well, like, look, we just want to break down a little bit more of our ecosystem, right? Like kind of going back to the first slide, a little bit of what we've built, what we have, and kind of just talking about the basics a little bit, and just, you know, our general business model ecosystem. But KiiChain, right, it's a modular L1 built with the Cosmos SDK, right? That's EVM compatible in 4 emerging markets. And the real focus is tokenization of real world assets, you know, DeFi that involves a lot of like cross-border lend borrow protocol. Like the reason why we're really focused on that on the DeFi side of the lend borrow is because, you know, in emerging markets, you have this huge need, right, for a secure way of receiving financing, right? There's tons of users here who are onboarding very quickly into, you know, crypto, into the Web3 world, you know, can't get access from traditional financing lenders, and they're starting to come now into, you know, into this kind of lend borrow protocols, right? And obviously, there's no better underwriter than putting everything on the blockchain. So there's a safe way to participate in these. We're seeing it as a huge theme. Obviously, you know, we spoke on it a little bit, but on the RWA side, that's like probably the biggest use case in the region. There's no kind of geographical area that's more, you know, plenty full of opportunities from a commodities, from, you know, an evolving real estate sector, from evolving e-commerce sector that is, you know, emerging markets in LATAM. So we have tons of those projects, both Web3 native, but very Web2 traditional companies who are now building. And then obviously payment settlement is like the core of the biggest use case. That's what we were solving for 6 years ago, right? With, you know, KeyX and integrating into, you know, payment rails and OTC desk market making trading. So there's a lot that can be done here as well on, you know, invoice processing, right? Cross-border stuff, local stuff. I mean, a lot of users, I think some of our earliest investors were, you know, North Americans who relocated to LATAM and understood this difficulty and how much of a headache it is, where people still fill out paperwork at banks, right? They charge insane amounts for national transfers, not international transfers. International transfers, it's, you know, 3x, 4x what they charge for national transfers, right? So like, you know, the evolution that we're seeing there is huge. So that's what, you know, this is what KiiChain is, right? If you want to learn more, KiiChain.io, and that's our website. We'll review it in a second, right? We have our Explorer app, very interactive. You know, this is our native app that we're running, but you can link your MetaMask wallet, right, to this app. You can stake, right? You can delegate, you can participate, you can launch, you know, your validator, your full node through that, right? It's becoming very interactive. We're about to launch the smart contract kind of module, giving visibility. The smart contract's already on chain. You know, ideally like a smart contract deployer would be integrated into this as well. So this app is going to evolve swaps, right? There's a lot of ideas that can be built into this that we can do natively, that users can participate in, but it's a key app that we're running. And for sure, there will be a big evolution among this web app in the future. We have a key mobile app. So this is the DeFi app that is currently deployed in testnet on iOS and Google Play. This is kind of going to be the hub of a lot of things for mobile apps that want to launch and expand and access users here. So right now it's just a web wallet staking validator. It's very basic, but there's a lot that can also be built into this mobile app. And when we're getting ready, about to integrate our second testnet into this app, push it. Of course, with Apple and Google, it always takes some time, but yeah, we're willing to work really hand in hand on that. And then KiiX is really our centralized exchange, payment rail, liquidity source, market making here in LATAM, and we can always explain a little bit more why we took that route. But yeah, that's like the apps that we currently are running right now, and we have some good plans to launch stuff in the future. But that's, again, just a good overview of what we have. But yeah, like just a quick technical breakdown, and Ezra or Andres, feel free to jump in at any moment. But again, KiiChain is a layer 1 blockchain built with the Cosmos SDK that's EVM compatible. And the reason why we're EVM compatible is because there's so much infrastructure, liquidity, and users, developers here who are familiar with Solidity, who are not yet proficient with Rust or maybe Go and different languages, and they all want to build on a network. And that was one of like the key aspects that we went through during our product discovery process over the last 5 years, just being in the space. And it's really important that we wanted to bring the Cosmos technology scalability at the core, right? Comet BFT, Tendermint Core, these kind of core and IBC, right? These core concepts. We wanted that to be the home base, but we needed a platform for users to all automatically be able to transfer any type of smart contract already written in Solidity onto our blockchain fairly quickly. And that's really the bulk of a lot of builders within our region, who can really take advantage of a lot of pre-existing infrastructure. And so a big purpose of what we're doing is really to onboard this next generation of builders, businesses who are becoming really, with the evolution of their adoption of this tech stack is really growing fastly, right? And we want to onboard this not only for our own internal community, but for the general Cosmos community, for the general Ethereum community, for just a lot of users who want to access this market. We can really be a resource, not just for builders locally, but for also in other companies who want to come into this geographical region, right? There's other players, there's other companies, great companies who are building in different areas, but we're definitely open, partnerships, help. In users or other companies kind of move in, we can totally be a resource for that. But yeah, proof of stake blockchain powered by Comet BFT. So it's the latest version of the Cosmos stack. For those who don't know, Comet BFT is the upgraded consensus mechanism from Tendermint. Incredibly fast, scalable, interoperable, which are really key components to a successful tech stack nowadays, but particularly in price-sensitive markets, where gas fees are really sensitive. If you're paying 10 cents or 2 cents or 3 cents, that's a lot in pesos for a lot of products that are sold and bought in these type of what we're called tete markets, right? So like we're here locally, which are micro markets here that are selling products under $2 to $3. It's a massive economy locally in LATAM. So really catering to that type of micro payment and scalability. Again, like Ezra mentioned, we're secured by the Atom chain, right, as part of our validating set to kind of take that advantages, help out contribute more related to the Cosmos community and use their kind of battle tested validator set to secure our chain, which are a lot of benefits of L2s perhaps, but at the same time having a core group of validators that are native and want to kind of validate the chain independently. But yeah, initial open set of 100 validators to start. But we're running the Polaris EVM module right now. So for those of you that don't know, it's really a 2-token model where a key is the EVMs. That's a main token that will be listed. That's our EVM token. That's for wallet transfers, gas fees, right? And then S key is really the more Cosmos native token for governance, staking, and rewards. And we've pretty much built and implemented automatic swap features on all of our products that really just completely make that process of swapping between the two assets, interoperable in its own sense, right? It's seamless. The user really doesn't know, and those smart contracts that we built are public as well. So a lot of these smart contracts that are building on top of our chain are built on top of Polaris. and just stay involved, because we will have some announcements in the future regarding changes to our EVM module and customizations that we're working on internally. But the general core will be won't change too significantly prior to mainnet. And then the big one also is IBC, right, which is, in our opinion, we think the best value per dollar on cross-chain software, right? Over 1 billion transactions, 0 hacks, it's the safest. I think over 100 chains have implemented this protocol, and really, bringing this best-in-class kind of cross-chain protocol to local assets here, RWA assets, is massive, right? And like, that's a really big theme that we saw. So always looking for different types of IBC partnerships. But this is kind of just breaks down a lot of this kind of core infrastructure and of the chain, just to kind of paint an overall view if this is the first time you're hearing about this, right? I don't know, Ezra, Andres, if you want to add anything. I think I covered the main aspects, right? But we can kind of start to go through a lot of the resources, just do an overview of our docs page and kind of give people an understanding of where they can navigate among our ecosystem here visually.
Yeah. I would like to add that if you have any doubt, any problem, you can also look at our documentation in our page, KiiChain.io, where you can find in that links in a detailed way more information about the SDK, how to deploy different smart contracts that were deployed in the KiiChain or we use in KiiChain, different resources that can help you to understand or to create a complex idea or project in order to avoid the reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, exactly, Andres. Thanks. So just kind of going on that, right? This is our docs page where you'll see a lot of our main resources, but everything I just went over in the last slide, you can find here, and you can find resources on each one of these segments if you want to learn more. And also in our getting started page, we have very basic instructions of really connecting to testnet, right? So understanding to get a wallet, how that works. We have a list of testnet tokens, and this is a key point, right? Like in our faucet, we automatically will drop 2,500 tokens to you. But if you need more for building or you want more, just reach out to us on Discord and we can do a transfer there, no problem, right? But how to connect to the Explorer app, how to basic links to developer resources in our developer kind of hub, and again, chatting on Discord, these type of links. So moving back to the presentation, a lot of important links here, right? As far as, the repos that we're working on, our main repo is KiiChain here. So in our page, coming in to, KiiChain repo, this is the main repo that we're running for the blockchain, right? Moving back over here to our slide, Discord invite, right? Wallet setup. So a lot of our getting started and, really setting up a wallet where, we're connected with RPC endpoints to MetaMask and other wallets. What we did in our Explorer app is actually, instead of doing it manually, which you can do, which will require you to kind of set up your own wallet and then kind of install this information into MetaMask, we've made it completely automatic, where if you go to our Explorer app, which I'll show in a minute, or actually not, I'll just show that right now. If I don't I have it somewhere up here. Here you go. If you just connect your wallet here to MetaMask, mine's already connected. What will happen is this will just populate automatically, and you can just manage your wallet right in your Explorer. So if you're building or you want to do something with validators or do something that interacts with the Explorer, that's my recommendation, is build it right in here. But this is our Explorer, right? Latest blocks, latest transactions, general dashboard, right? They'll run the validators that we're running right now. So we're about to, we just launched this 2 weeks ago. We're about to move over and incorporate the ICS module, incorporate a lot of the pre-existing validators we had on testnet 1, blocks uptime of these validators. And so, this is where you can kind of create stake based on, the amount of coins you have connected to your wallet, and that swap feature that I mentioned earlier will just happen automatically. So it'll be completely seamless. As far as getting tokens, we have 2. We have one option is here in our Explorer, and then the other option will be in our Discord. So if you join us on Discord, we have a separate we have a separate faucet within our Discord, and you can automatically make the command there as well, right? If you're interested in learning more about KiiX or the APIs, we have a lot of this in our all of our APIs here for connecting to that liquidity locally. If you're like a local dev and you're building payment apps or you want to source liquidity, right? Like, and you want to kind of build on this module, this theme, all of these API calls are here, right? But this isn't the main kind of developer hub where we're going to have these endpoints of the blockchain. We're going to explain the basic concepts. And then in the tools, you know, we have our the SDKs. We're about to roll off the page for the JavaScript, TypeScript SDK. And then tons of resources of other repos within the Cosmos ecosystem, within Solidity, right? With, you know, how to launch dApps, step-by-step, precompiled contracts, these important things. So you can find that all in the build on KiiChain section. That's, you know, pretty important. But, and as well, also, sorry, just to kind of wrap up on validating the network side, right? For launching nodes, full nodes, recommendations. And then you're going to have this, this testnet faucet with commands here as well, right? And a step-by-step guide of, you know, launching a validator or launching a node. If you don't want to launch a full node, you can still launch a regular one, and kind of access a lot of the information on the testnet. But yeah, this is kind of like the main where you can really learn if you're just a user and you want to learn, you know, basics on the KiiChain, just, you know, and get original testnet tokens, or if you really want to build, this is like a really good place to start when you know you're kind of building within our ecosystem. But yeah, general website here, learning more about KiiX. This is our website in English and in Spanish for this sport. We can learn more about what we're up to with this app. Our Explorer, app.kiichain.io, right, is our Explorer, and everything is linked to our website. But Ezra, Andres, I don't know if there's anything else you want to chime in. We're coming up in 15 minutes. So this was kind of just like the first overview of everything we got going on in you know, the general hackathon. You know, we're obviously super attentive in our social channels, and this is just a general overview. I think could be pretty helpful for a lot of users just want to get a first sense of who we are and where is all of our information, right?
Yeah, I think you did an absolute phenomenal job. You touched points on several things that I wanted to bring up, but you've already gone over them now. And so, you know, something that I just want to bring up again, and obviously I assume this deck that we've gone over, Trevor, is like linked right on the project as a whole, I assume. Oh, it looks like we lost Trevor as well. Long story short, what the main point that I wanted to focus on was just the two token model, and that is having, you know, Key as that front facing token for users, and SKey being that back end you know, on-chain Cosmos transaction. So that's just something I want to remind builders. That's kind of how we currently have it, and that's how we would, you know, want you to build it out as well. We want it to be seamless for our users, not trying to think about the two token model, really just interacting with Key, not SKey. So I just wanted to emphasize and bring that up again. I think you did a great job emphasizing that, though, Alex, as well.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah, sorry, I cut out there for a second.
That's all good. You both cut out. I took lead for a sec there.
and before I accidentally closed my tab, I think you're asking if this would be available.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say this deck is available right on the Dorahacks thing, right?
Yeah, we
nice.
Let me double check after this. We can definitely make it available on the page.
I was gonna say, I think maybe Alex just finished this one up perfectly, so we'll make sure you guys get this one so they can be like linked right on the thing, because I think this is a great resource. And Alex, what I did, I just emphasized the two token model and how we want users to be building with Key as the front facing token that people are interacting with to avoid any confusion.
Yeah, no, love it. And yeah, we can, I'm sure Sebastian can figure out a way to put this presentation out publicly.
Exactly.
So those links are available.
We could just like link it in a Google Drive link.
Yeah,
exactly. Cool.
Yeah, and I think that like for everybody listening, I don't know, maybe I missed it, but like the prize pool is like, it's fairly large, right, Alex?
Yeah,
we didn't really talk about it too much.
We didn't talk about it. I was like, Alex, talk about the prize pool.
Yeah, so $115,000 in prize pool split between the three hacks, right? All tokens priced at the most discounted round, so not priced at recent rounds, priced at the most discounted, cheapest round that we did on the raises. Yeah, in tokens, and then we bunched that up with USDT too. right? So $5,000 in each segment for USDT plus the tokens. So big rewards. We wanted a little fixed supply on the stablecoin side because that's our biggest traded asset within KiiX and our ecosystem. And yeah, wanted to really give our users, right, a big incentive first to start as like some of the first builders from the Dora community. And yeah, we're like really excited just to get going and be working on this and really be working for the good of humanity locally and abroad.
And we recognize we're not the biggest prize pool that that Dorahacks has ever done, but we're not the smallest. You know what I mean? And so we wanted to find a medium space where we really incentivize builders to attract to this hackathon as a whole. We wanted to incentivize people to really build some badass stuff. So
yeah. For those that are listening, like this is just kind of the beginning here, right? With KiiChain being a modular L1 in like one of the most important emerging markets out there in LATAM for real world assets, DeFi payments. That kind of thing. This is kind of just the beginning here, right? And it's there's so much more to do, and as you can tell, there's so much. Those of you that are listening, there's so much that can be done with this stack, but also this team is. You guys are probably one of the. You're a really engaged team here, and you guys all really, really care about what you guys talk about.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the things that made me want to support you guys very early on. So happy to support you guys. Hackers, Dorahacks.io, kicking it with KiiChain. You're already doing that now, but let's do it in a more official manner and build some cool stuff. Happy to support you guys. This is, looking forward to seeing what comes out of this.
Yeah, no, really appreciate those kind words. Appreciate the support thus far up to this, and from the entire team at Dora. Everyone's been super helpful. So really nothing but positive vibes for that coming that way from our
Good
side.
vibes, baby.
Yeah. So no, we'll end it here, but excited to kick it over the next couple months with everyone. Hopefully, I'm sure more people will tune in over the next, couple of weeks here to catch up. But yeah, cheers everyone. Enjoy the rest of your week. Reach out to us, Discord, X, Instagram. Sebastian's got us on every single media outlet, so we're here. Looking forward to working with everyone, speaking and get this thing going. So thank you.
Good luck, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Good luck.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Trevor. Bye, guys.